Come to your neighborhood, though. Go to your neighborhood. We want to see you walk around Queens. Go walk around Queens, man.
Young Buck just jumped on live and straight up challenged 50 Cent to walk through Queens with zero security. All after 50 dropped a savage AI meme on Buck's own birthday.
Cups. What's up, OG? What's up? Yes, sir. You did, like, come where you from, homie. You know what I'm saying?
What exactly did 50 post that lit that fuse so fast? And now people are asking, did Buck just wake up an 18-year feud he has no shot at winning?
You know, your gimmick is up, homie. We all looking at you. What's up, OG? How you doing, baby? I'm good, man.
Let's break it down, because this whole situation turned messy real quick.
Around March 14th and 15th, 2026, during Young Buck's 45th birthday weekend, David Darnell Brown, the Nashville OG and former G-Unit core member back when they had the rap game on lock, was just out here living regular life, staying in his lane, no drama in sight. He wasn't throwing shade, wasn't sending sneak disses.
I'm out here with them real riders, man. It is, baby. Real riders, man. It is, baby. You really do.
Nothing like that. Instead, he was celebrating big, hosting what he called a rodeo-style birthday bash at his locker room Nashville spot. We're talking horses, cowboy energy, full Southern vibe, everything on point. On top of that, he dropped a bunch of clips on Instagram, just cool, laid-back moments. Him riding through the neighborhood on horseback, talking with people, showing love, shaking hands, keeping it real with the same community that's been rocking with him for years. No tension, no sneak moves, no hidden messages, just a grown man enjoying his birthday, surrounded by real ones, feeling appreciated and respected on his day. No problems, no beef on his radar at all, just real love coming straight from the block. OGs pulling up, showing respect, neighbors stepping in with handshakes and hugs, nothing but good energy all around.
At least I know you ain't looking at my ass. Oh shit. So he puts up a Broilla post and he says, they mad because you're up.
This is what it looks like when somebody is truly connected to where they're from, and you could tell Buck was taking in every moment of it. At this point in the live, Buck was still deep in celebration mode, showing love to the elders, keeping it real with his people, staying solid the whole time. No drama, no tension, no mention of 50 Cent, no talk about G-Unit, nothing like that. Just a man happy to see 45 and letting everybody witness how much his city rocks with him. But that calm vibe, it was about to flip fast, because somebody else had eyes on that live too. I'm out here with them real riders, man. There it is, baby. Real riders, man. There it is, baby. G-Unit, real riders, real folks, real community. That's what the energy was about. Loyalty, respect, and being surrounded by your people. Meanwhile, while Buck was outside keeping it solid in Cashville, 50 Cent was already plotting from his phone, putting together one of the most disrespectful posts people have seen in a minute. That's how Fifth operates. He moves like somebody always watching, always ready to strike the second he spots an opening.
Okay. So he takes a jab at Yayo, and apparently Yayo responds. And Yayo responds like this.
It doesn't matter if you're quiet, minding your business, or not even mentioning his name. If he sees a chance to turn your moment into content, he's taking it every time. And the move he made this time, it wasn't just a quick joke. It was a full-on AI-generated, photoshopped parody inspired by the old-school 1970s show The Dukes of Hazzard. This wasn't some rushed meme either. This was detailed, polished, and put together like a real production. A full recreation of that classic promo poster, complete with the General Lee in the original cast setup. 50 placed himself front and center as Bo Duke, the main character, while Tony Yayo was right there in the frame beside him, locked in on the scene.
See that, man, this ain't no game. And I just be sitting back and watching.
And the part that really had the internet going crazy? Glorilla's sister, Victoria Scarface Woods, also known as Brilla, got photoshopped right onto the body of Daisy Duke, that iconic character famous for those standout short shorts. That alone had people talking, but 50 didn't stop there. He also added T.I. into the mix as Sheriff Roscoe P. Coltrane, the clumsy lawman from the show, taking another jab since he's already been going back and forth with Tip too. It was like he lined up multiple targets and hit them all in one shot. That's the 50 Cent playbook right there. Why come for one person when you can stir up three at the same time? And the wildest part? Young Buck, the main one this whole thing was aimed at, got completely removed from the picture. No trace, no presence, just swapped out like he was never part of the crew in the first place. Then came the caption, posted for millions to see.
Trying to manipulate these fans' minds and shit until the bullshit come to an end and that shit catch up with you.
They mad because you up. Young Buck kicked out. You in the group? At least I know you ain't looking at my ass, LOL. That line hit different, and even academics had to stop and really look at it. Because on the surface, it sounds like classic 50. Jokes, trolling, something that'll rack up views and likes in no time. But if you really know the backstory, if you've been following this situation over the years, then you already know. That caption wasn't random at all. Every word in that post felt calculated, like it was carefully aimed to hit where it hurts the most. When 50 said, "Young Buck kicked out," he wasn't just joking. He was reaching all the way back to 2008, bringing up Buck's very public fallout from G-Unit. That situation wasn't small either. It involved money disputes, loyalty questions, and accusations about reckless decisions, all things that already had tension built around it. And that last line, "At least I know you ain't looking at my ass."
Now you got kids all over you. You can't even do nothing with the man's children. So you want to just start trolling different folks and this and that.
That's another layer, pulling from the same angle 50's been using against Buck for years, keeping that narrative alive and making sure it stays part of the conversation. That same rumor that's been floating around since the 2010s involving Buck and a transgender woman, yeah, that's been 50's favorite angle every single time this feud heats up. It's like his go-to move, something he keeps pulling out whenever he wants to hit a nerve. This wasn't some random Instagram joke thrown together in 5 seconds. Not at all. This was calculated, direct, and aimed exactly where it would sting the most. Buck's reputation in the game and his personal life all at once. That's the 50 Cent formula, and he's been running it almost flawlessly for close to 2 decades now, always knowing how to get a reaction and keep people talking. And that's exactly what happened here. Buck saw the post, and he did not let it slide. He fired back strong, but we'll get into that in just a moment.
Man, come on, man, the gig is up, man. Goddamn, how much trolling and the shit you gonna do before you do something?
First, you gotta understand how fast this situation blew up, because it spread like wildfire, even by internet standards. Within hours, major blog pages like Academics, Baller Alert, Industry Blitz, and Traps and Trunks had already reposted the image to millions of followers. By the time the sun went down, YouTube reaction channels were already uploading videos non-stop with titles like 50 Cent trolls Young Buck on his birthday and Young Buck crashes out on 50 Cent. The content wave hit instantly and didn't slow down. Twitter completely out of control. Memes everywhere, people joking, others debating, and the whole broke boy narrative started getting tossed around heavy. Then came the street challenge talk, with folks arguing back and forth, picking sides, and turning every comment section into straight chaos.
You ain't gonna do a goddamn thing, all that old bluff. Keep that shit up there.
And Brilla herself even stepped in, looking totally unbothered, almost amused by it all, embracing the moment and showing she was fully aware she had just become part of a viral storm. This whole situation had momentum from the second it dropped, and it was not slowing down for anybody. Just like that, off one perfectly timed Instagram post, 50 Cent flipped what should have been Young Buck's 45th birthday celebration into the first strike in yet another chapter of one of hip-hop's most one-sided and relentless feuds. But Buck, and this part matters, was not about to let that slide. Not this time, and definitely not on his birthday. What he did next is where everything really took off and turned into something bigger. Now here's what a lot of people in those comment sections keep getting wrong about Young Buck. This is not somebody who's just gonna sit back, scroll through disrespect on his phone and act like it doesn't exist. That's not how he moves, and that's never been his reputation. Give him credit where it's due. He didn't back down. He didn't try to dodge it, and he didn't throw out some vague quote trying to look unbothered. None of that. What he did instead felt raw, direct, and true to where he comes from. He took it straight to the source. No filters, no middle ground. Buck grabbed his phone, opened Instagram, and went live immediately, stepping right into the environment that shaped him.
To your neighborhood, though. Go to your neighborhood. We want to see you walk around Queens. Go walk around Queens, man.
Not from a studio setup, not from some luxury spot, but from the middle of his Nashville neighborhood, surrounded by familiar faces and real support. He was out there in real time, walking through the streets, greeting people by name, showing respect to the OGs, connecting with the same community that's been behind him from the very beginning. He even pulled up to Ed's fish spot like it was just a regular day, keeping everything natural and grounded while the internet was going wild around him. No security, no handlers, no big entourage, just Buck standing there with the same people who've had his back since day one. From that exact spot, he started speaking on everything. No filter, no hesitation. Leave, Buck made it clear right away. He hasn't been ignoring any of this. He's been watching the whole situation closely, seeing every move 50's been making. He's been catching every post, every meme, every jab, every time his name gets pulled into something for attention. None of it went over his head. He stayed quiet for a minute, held it in, let it build. But that birthday post, that was the final push. That's when Buck decided he was done staying silent and started calling things out directly. He pointed at something a lot of people have already been noticing, that 50's whole strategy right now leans heavy on controlling the narrative through jokes, memes, and viral moments instead of anything deeper. To Buck, it's all a show. Memes over music, trolling over creating, online drama over real substance. And he was basically saying, the jig is up, homie. People are starting to see through it, making it clear he thinks that image won't hold forever. Then he shifted the focus even further, bringing up another angle that added more weight to what he was saying. He took a direct shot connected to 50's ongoing issues with T.I., especially with how things have been playing out publicly. Buck's message came off like this: you already dealing with real situations right now, things involving family, things getting messy online, pointing out that this isn't just internet jokes anymore. It's starting to hit closer to real life.
With no security, we want to see what your life like. You so goddamn tough.
And instead of handling that like a grown man, you out here on Instagram making AI memes about me on my birthday. Where are your priorities at, homie? Get your own house in order before you come trying to burn down mine. That line hit with force. No sugarcoating, no soft delivery, just straight pressure. Then Buck doubled down and pushed it even further, making it clear that all that online tough talk doesn't mean much when it leaves the screen. Keep that shit up there, he said, meaning keep that energy in New York, keep it on the internet, keep it wherever it stays, because down in Tennessee, in Nashville, things move different. The tone shifted heavy right there. Buck was making one thing crystal clear. Talking tough online is one thing, but standing face to face in real life is a whole different situation. And the people around him, that added weight to every word he was saying. Then came the moment that really set everything off, the line that spread everywhere and had the whole internet reacting. Go walk around Queens. That challenge flipped the entire energy of the situation. Up until then, 50 had been throwing shots from behind a screen, dropping posts and stirring things up digitally. But Buck, he was outside, standing on real ground, making it feel way more direct. Now, some people started debating if that challenge even makes sense, considering how famous 50 is. Realistically, someone at his level can't just casually walk through South Jamaica, Queens without drawing a huge crowd and shutting everything down. But that wasn't really the point Buck was making. This wasn't about logistics, it was about principle, about showing where you stand when things move from online talk to real-world presence. Buck was right there in his neighborhood, getting love from every angle. No barriers, no act, no pretending. And he was basically saying, this is what it looks like when your community truly rocks with you. Can you say the same? That message hit loud and clear. Then he closed it out with a line that carried way more weight than most people even caught at first. I don't know you a quarter. And that wasn't just talk. That was a direct reference to the bankruptcy case where Buck paid 50 Cent around $200,690 through the Nashville courts, officially clearing that long-standing debt once and for all. In his eyes, that chapter was finished. Money handled, business done, no strings attached, no leverage left. He was making it clear, there's nothing hanging over him anymore, nothing 50 can hold against him. But if Buck thought going live and speaking his piece was gonna make 50 ease up, that didn't happen at all. In fact, it went the exact opposite way. Within hours, 50 grabbed Buck's own live footage, reposted it on Instagram, and added a caption aimed to hit as hard as possible. "Lo, look at this punk ass. We know you like them boys, Buck, but Rilla like the girls. That's a better fit around here, punk. You in your hood because you broke boy, lo." That phrase, broke boy, spread fast. It jumped across every platform, every comment section, every group chat, picking up speed like crazy. And what made it hit so hard wasn't just the words, it was how 50 flipped the whole narrative. Buck was showing pride, saying, "I'm outside, I'm respected, I'm home." But 50 turned it into something else entirely. He twisted it into, "You're only there because you don't have options," completely reshaping how people were looking at Buck's message and shifting the conversation in a ruthless way.
Your gig is up, the laughs is over with. Now they see what it really been.
You ain't humble, you're stuck. You ain't choosing the block is all you got left. That right there was the angle 50 pushed, and whether people believe it or not, that kind of sharp flip is exactly why he's built a reputation as one of the most dangerous figures when it comes to public beefs in hip-hop. Buck didn't back down, not at all, but when it came to the internet moment, 50 had already taken control of the spotlight. Then Tony Yayo stepped in and added more fuel, jumping into the comments with, "We be in Southside all the time," shouting out Southside Jamaica Queens, backing 50 and reinforcing that they move how they want, when they want. Major outlets like Hot New Hip Hop, XXL, and Hot 97 quickly grabbed screenshots before anything could disappear, making sure the moment stayed alive even after posts started getting taken down. And 50 still wasn't finished. He went back, pulled up an old clip tied to that long-running rumor and reposted it with a caption that made his stance crystal clear. "No reunion, FK that, Brilla on the next tour. I'll FK around and put him in my new show, The Accomplice." That message left no room for confusion. No reunion, no fixing things, no easing up at all. Meanwhile, the Academics clip that helped boost Buck's side pulled in serious traction too, racking up thousands of likes and a flood of comments. But the reactions? Completely split. Some people were backing Buck, saying he was standing on real principles and showing authenticity. Others weren't letting his past slide, bringing up old situations and using them against him in the debate. And that's where this story really goes deeper, because those past moments aren't small. They're part of a long, complicated history that's been building for nearly 2 decades. 18 years of back and forth, tension, and public clashes. This isn't some quick online argument that fades in a week. This isn't a few slick comments that get cleared up in an interview and forgotten. This is something that's been brewing, escalating, and evolving over years, making it a completely different level of conflict altogether. Nah, this situation runs way deeper than all the surface-level drama people see online. This didn't start with a meme, it didn't come from a late-night diss track, and it definitely didn't begin over some Instagram clips with a horse. This goes back to the real roots of long-term hip-hop conflicts: money, contracts, royalties, publishing, and what happens when personal loyalty crashes straight into business. Because once that line gets crossed, things don't get fixed easy, they just keep building. Young Buck came into G Unit around 2002 to 2003, and by 2004 he dropped Straight Outta Cashville, a project that went platinum and helped put Nashville on the hip-hop map in a serious way. Everything looked solid on the outside, but behind the scenes, cracks were already forming. The tension really started when 50 Cent and Shy Money XL, the manager and key architect behind G Unit, had a major fallout over money. And this wasn't small disagreement energy either. This was the kind of split that changes everything. Now here's where it gets complicated. Buck wasn't just casually connected to Shy Money. They were close, really close. That relationship wasn't business, it was personal. So when 50 made it clear that everyone in the camp needed to cut ties with Shy Money, Buck got put in a position that had no easy way out. He had to choose between loyalty and opportunity.
It's my C-Day, and I ain't signed to your no more, and I don't owe you a quota.
On one side, you've got someone he considered a brother, someone he stood beside his best man at his wedding. On the other, you've got 50 Cent, the person who opened the door and helped change his life forever. And no matter which way he went, there were going to be consequences waiting on the other side. The wild part? Buck didn't even fully grasp how deep that conflict between 50 and Shy Money really went at the time. He just knew one thing. He wasn't about to turn his back on someone he was loyal to over a situation that didn't start with him. But that one decision, that moment right there, that's what set everything into motion. One choice that triggered a chain reaction, and that fallout is still echoing all these years later. And that's exactly how it went down. While 50, Lloyd Banks, and Tony Yayo were still moving together, doing shows and operating like a tight unit, Buck was left on the outside looking in. He started getting cut from group appearances, no longer part of the main movement. And when it came time to push his second album, Buck the World, he was basically carrying that weight alone. That kind of isolation doesn't just sit quietly, it builds pressure. Then the media caught on. Once the blogs and reporters sensed something was off, they started digging, asking questions, trying to figure out what was really going on inside G-Unit. And this time, Buck didn't hold it in. Instead of covering things up like before, he spoke on the money situation and what he was dealing with behind the scenes. That moment, especially in those 2007-2008 interviews, hit 50 Cent in a way that felt personal. Because in 50's mindset, you don't take internal issues and put them out in public like that, no matter what's happening behind closed doors. From there, everything shifted, and there was no coming back. On April 7th, 2008, 50 went on Hot 97 and made it official to the world. Young Buck was out of G-Unit. No build-up, no warning, no private sit-down, just a cold, direct announcement. You can take this as official notice. That was it. Clean cut, no second chances, no room for discussion. But what came next, just 2 months later, is what really changed everything. Something 50 had been holding on to, waiting for the right moment to use. And when it finally dropped, it didn't just affect Buck's career, it reshaped his public image in a way that he's been dealing with ever since. And then came the moment that took this whole situation from industry fallout to full-blown personal damage. Not just music, not just business. This hit on a level that followed Buck everywhere. About 2 months after that Hot 97 announcement, a recorded phone conversation between 50 Cent and Young Buck suddenly surfaced online. And this wasn't some casual clip either. This was raw, emotional, and impossible to ignore. In the audio, Buck could be heard clearly upset, his voice cracking, trying to explain himself, trying to fix things, trying to hold on to something that was already slipping away. It wasn't polished, it wasn't strategic. It was real emotion spilling out in a moment that was never meant for the public. And that's exactly why it hit so hard. Because once that recording got out, it spread everywhere. Blogs picked it up instantly. Radio stations played it. People were reposting it non-stop. What should have been a private conversation turned into public content overnight.
Paging all 50s. Po-ass petty nigga. What's going on? Let's go. Where's that?
And the way it was framed, that made it even worse. Instead of people seeing it as a man dealing with pressure and conflict, it got turned into something to clown, something to joke about, something to use against him. Meanwhile, 50 controlled the narrative completely. He positioned himself as calm, collected, and in charge, while Buck was painted as emotional and unstable. That contrast stuck, and it changed how a lot of people viewed Buck from that point forward. That moment didn't just fade either. It became part of the storyline, something that kept getting brought back up over the years, especially anytime their names ended up in the same conversation. And that's why this situation today still carries so much weight, because every new shot, every new post, every new response isn't happening in a vacuum. It's layered on top of years of history, old wounds, public moments, and narratives that never fully went away. So when Buck went live and 50 fired back, it wasn't just about a birthday post. It was tied to everything that came before it, all the tension, all the history, and all the moments that shaped how people see both of them today. Back in June 2008, things took a turn that nobody saw coming. 50 Cent released a private phone call he had secretly recorded about a year earlier. 16 full minutes of audio, just sitting there, saved and ready, waiting for the perfect moment to drop. And when people heard it, it hit different. Because on that recording, you hear young Buck, a rapper known for being tough, for representing Cashville with strength, completely breaking down, his voice shaking, emotions spilling out, trying to explain himself, trying to fix the situation, trying not to lose everything he had built. From the very first seconds, you can tell this wasn't fake, this wasn't for show, this was real pressure, real fear, a man dealing with the possibility of losing his position, his team, and everything tied to it. Buck was even saying he couldn't bring himself to go against 50. The connection meant too much to him, the history ran too deep, and the whole time he's opening up like that, every word is being recorded. Then came the line that stuck with him for years. I just want that same family feel like it's always been, man. I know I'm out of line. That right there became the moment people kept replaying, quoting, and bringing back up over and over again. It followed him, stayed attached to his name, and never fully faded away. And what made it even colder was how 50 responded on that same call. He wasn't yelling, he wasn't losing control, he sounded calm, almost supportive, like someone giving guidance. Stay close, you'll be all right. On the surface, it sounded like advice, like mentorship, like someone trying to keep things together. But looking at what happened next, that moment takes on a completely different meaning, because behind that calm tone was a bigger move already in play. 50 recorded the entire conversation, held on to it, and waited, not reacting immediately, not putting it out right away, just keeping it ready until the timing was right to make the biggest impact possible. He waited, and then used it at the exact moment it would hit the hardest. And when that time came, he released it to the world with zero hesitation.
The second that tape hit the internet, everything shifted. Just like that. Done. Finished. No turning back. Blogs, forums, and media platforms instantly locked in on it, calling it the moment that changed how young Buck was viewed forever. You have to understand the climate back then. In 2008, hip-hop culture moved different. Showing any kind of emotional vulnerability, that was looked at completely wrong. Your image wasn't just important, it was everything. So hearing a rapper known for toughness breaking down on a recorded call, that wasn't just shocking, it got treated like a complete public takedown. The reactions were harsh. Comment sections lit up with jokes, blogs pushed the narrative nonstop, and the conversation around Buck flipped almost overnight. One day he's seen as G-Unit's Southern enforcer. Next day, people are reducing him to that one moment on tape. Buck didn't stay quiet though. He came right back with a diss track titled Taped Conversation, firing off lines like, "The only people that record conversations is 5-0, flipping 50's name into a jab. The intent was there, the response was quick, but the reality, the damage had already settled in, because you can't out-rap a moment like that. No matter how strong the bars are, the audio already told a story people weren't letting go of. It stuck, and it followed him everywhere. From that point on, 50 had the upper hand in the public eye, and it stayed that way for years. On top of that, Buck was still tied into G-Unit contractually, which made things even more complicated. He couldn't fully move how he wanted, couldn't drop music freely, and couldn't rebuild momentum on his own terms. There was a brief moment in 2014 at Summer Jam where it looked like things might turn around. The whole G-Unit lineup reunited on stage. Fans went crazy, energy was high, and for a second, it felt like a reset might actually happen. But behind the scenes, nothing was really fixed. And just like that, the reunion faded, leaving the same tension sitting there unresolved. Then in 2019, things got even more intense, pushing this whole situation into a deeper level of conflict. 50 Cent released alleged audio tied to Buck and a transgender encounter, and from there, it turned into a full-scale trolling run on Instagram. He didn't just post once and move on either. This became a non-stop wave. Mock GoFundMe pages, copyright claims hitting Buck's music videos, and captions like 50 wants his money repeated over and over like a slogan. It wasn't subtle at all. It was loud, public, and designed to keep attention locked in. Buck tried to shift things back to music. He called for a versus-style battle, basically saying let's settle this through bars and performance. But 50 never stepped into that space, and instead, the online pressure kept building. Then the situation moved out of social media and into something more serious, the legal side. This is where the money issues really came to the front. At the center of it all was around $250,000 that 50 claimed he had advanced through a 2014 recording deal for albums that were never completed. That disagreement turned into a full legal battle. Buck filed for Chapter 7 bankruptcy in 2020, and G-Unit stepped in with a creditor claim. From there, it became a long process in Nashville federal court, with both sides throwing out claims about missing money, assets, and rights to music. This wasn't quick either. It dragged on for years, with no easy resolution in sight. Then in July 2025, it finally reached an ending. The court approved a settlement where Buck's liquidated estate paid $200,690 directly to 50 Cent, officially closing that chapter.
And once again, the headlines all leaned one way. Major outlets like Hip Hop DX, Complex, and Vice all pushed the same narrative. 50 comes out on top in the financial dispute. That added another tough moment to Buck's record and reinforced 50's position in the public eye. And right when it seemed like things couldn't get heavier, another situation added more attention. In April 2025, Buck served 30 days in Sumner County Jail related to a bond violation in a separate case. That alone got attention, but once the mugshot started circulating, it spread fast across the internet. And just like before, 50 reacted quickly, reposting the image with commentary that kept the spotlight and conversation going. And that brings everything right back to the present day, where all of that history, all of those moments, and all of that tension collided again in one explosive situation. Because this isn't just two artists trading shots for attention. This is years of build-up spilling out in real time. When Buck went live during his birthday, it wasn't just about responding to a post. It was layered with everything that's happened before, the fallout, the public moments, the legal battles, the back and forth that never truly stopped. That's why his tone felt different. It wasn't just anger, it was frustration built up over time, mixed with pride, mixed with a need to show that he's still standing, still connected, still solid where it counts. And on the other side, 50 didn't switch his approach at all. He stayed exactly how people have come to expect, strategic, calculated, and always thinking a few steps ahead when it comes to controlling the moment. Because that's really what this comes down to now. Two completely different ways of moving. Buck is showing up in real life, in his environment, around people who support him, trying to prove his standing through presence and connection. 50 is operating through platforms, using humor, timing, and viral moments to shape how the public sees everything. Two different strategies, but only one of them tends to win in today's attention-driven world. And that's the uncomfortable truth in all of this. In the current era, perception spreads faster than reality. A post can travel further than a real-life moment. A caption can reshape a whole narrative overnight. So even when Buck is standing firm in his city, showing real support and connection, it can still get flipped, edited, and turned into something completely different online. And that's exactly what keeps happening in this situation again and again. Now the real question is, where does this go from here? Because history shows this doesn't just fade away. Every time it cools off, something pulls it right back up. Will it stay online with memes and posts going back and forth? Or does it turn into something bigger again, pulling in more people, more responses, and more layers to a story that's already gone on for nearly 2 decades? One thing is clear though, as long as both sides keep responding, this situation isn't ending anytime soon. And here's where things get even more interesting, because now the conversation isn't just about Buck and 50 anymore. It's about how the whole culture reacts to moments like this. Because every post, every reaction, every meme plays a role in deciding who wins in the public eye. Look at how fast people pick sides. Some are backing Buck, saying he's showing something real, being outside, connected to his city, standing on who he is without hiding. That kind of presence still means something,
especially to people who value authenticity over internet performance. But on the flip side, there's a huge group laughing with 50, treating every post like entertainment, sharing it, reposting it, turning it into jokes that spread even further. And that reaction, that's what keeps giving 50 the edge in these situations. Because in today's world, attention is power, and 50 understands that better than almost anyone. He knows how to take one moment and stretch it across platforms, keeping it alive way longer than it normally would be. Meanwhile, Buck is fighting a different kind of battle. He's not just responding to 50, he's pushing against years of narratives, moments that keep getting brought back, clips that never disappear, and opinions that were formed a long time ago. That's a harder fight, because once a perception sticks, it doesn't move easily. And that's why every time Buck steps up, it feels like he's trying to rewrite a story that the internet already decided on years ago. Every live, every response, every move, it's all part of trying to shift that image back in his favor. But 50, he's not trying to rewrite anything. He's reinforcing what's already out there, adding new moments on top of old ones, keeping the same narrative alive and active. And that difference right there is why this situation keeps playing out the way it does. Because one side is trying to change the story, and the other side is making sure it never changes. So now the real tension isn't just the back and forth, it's whether that narrative can ever actually flip, whether Buck can create a moment strong enough to shift how people see him, or if 50 will keep controlling the conversation every time it heats up. And judging by how this latest round played out, that battle is still very much ongoing. Low, followed by a gif of Megamind. That right there tells you everything you need to know. This man does not miss a single moment to turn something into content. And just like that, we're right back where it all started. March 2026, birthday vibes, horse clips, and a situation that refuses to cool off. What should have been a celebration turned into another chapter in a never-ending back and forth. And the wild part? This Buck situation isn't even the only thing 50 has going on right now. He's juggling multiple issues at once. T.I., Mano, Papoose, even Claressa Shields, all getting pulled into the same pattern of memes, edited visuals, and public callouts. Same strategy, different targets, over and over again. So now the real question is this still funny or is something else now? Because yeah, the memes hit, the jokes spread, people repost and laugh, quote lines like "broke boy" and "keep it moving." But behind all that, there's a real person at the center of it. Someone who, despite everything, once stood side by side with the same man now turning him into content. Someone who once said family and the whole world heard it. And depending on how you see it, this is either one of the most legendary ongoing beefs hip-hop has ever seen, or one of the most complicated and uncomfortable ones to watch play out. Now I want to hear from you. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Whose side are you on and why? Make sure you like, subscribe, share, and comment low if you made it this far.